Deepwater horizon, Deepwater horizon, the greatest oil spill of the century. Deepwater horizon.
On February 15, 2010, an oil rig, now famously known as the Deepwater Horizon, owned by the company Transocean, begins drilling in the Gulf of Mexico into the seafloor. 2 months later, on April 20, 2010, Deepwater Horizon explodes due to safety malpractices. 9:59 p.m. The disaster kills 11 workers, leaving 98 others injured. The rig continued to burn for 2 days straight until it finally sank. After investigation by the Chemical Safety Board, they have concluded that this human disaster is now attributed to several poor safety precautions. Because of Transocean's carelessness, this has resulted in the largest recorded oil spill in history. Oil from the rig continued to be pumped out over an 87-day period until the leak was finally capped. It has been estimated that 4 million barrels of oil flowed from the well. During the investigation by the Chemical Safety Board, they revealed that a crucial piece of safety equipment, the Deepwater Horizon's blowout preventer, failed to seal the well during the emergency. Oil rigs drill deep into the seafloor. These layers can contain water and natural gas, which can get trapped in the layers of sediment. If water and gas get stuck into the rig pipe, it can be fatal due to the extreme pressure differences. However, the blowout preventer located on the seafloor is supposed to act in an emergency situation to prevent oil and gas from traveling back up the rig pipe. If this fails, the oil mixed with natural gas can spray out of the pipe onto the oil rig itself, where this mixture is easily ignited and can cause an explosion. In order to do this, the crew uses an annular preventer that blocks off the oil pipe, ultimately closing the blowout preventer. However, these critical pieces of equipment were not working correctly on the Deepwater Horizon. Poor safety practices led to several consequences. Some of the coastal impacts include the beaches were closed due to oil residues on shore. Fisheries were not able to operate, causing many locals to lose out on money. The Gulf of Mexico is also a normal popular tourist destination. However, because the beaches are closed, there was little tourism in this area. Salt marshes, which are important transitional habitats between the sea and the land, were polluted with oil. A lot of wildlife, including birds, were also covered in oil. There were also marine impacts. Coral reefs were covered in oil, and marine biologists suggest that 55% of the reefs may have died. Marine life, such as fish, can also not survive in the oil deposits, causing immunotoxicity to their system. Marine life was also forced from their natural habitats, and finally, there was an observed shift in the ocean microbiota. We will now investigate the scientific explanations behind some of the mentioned impacts. Coral reefs are critical to ocean biodiversity. They are the homes of many important ocean species. Corals filter their surrounding water with their tentacles. However, once they are covered in oil, their tentacles filter the oil in and they will begin to die. This is called coral bleaching. Coral bleaching is a stress response. Corals will expel the algae living on their tissue, which provides them with nutrients. When the corals are without the algae for too long, they die of starvation. When animals such as fish are exposed to oil, they breathe it in through their gills, and it will coat the epithelium layer in their blood vessels, and this causes immunotoxicity and ultimately death. Since the oil spill, there have been many efforts in order to clean up the disaster. Some of these efforts include dispersants, drilling mud, in situ burning, skimming, and booms and berms. To this day, the Gulf of Mexico still has never fully recovered from the damages of this human-made disaster.